Honorable Mbambani. Mbambama.
Honorable House Chair, the Democratic Alliance acknowledges that effective land reform must be prioritized and pursued with greater urgency to redress past land dispossessions. South Africa suffers from a history of black people being denied land ownership. But to address this, we do not need to change the constitution. We need to change the government. The DA wants all South Africans to own their land and property. We want landowners, not tenants. Let us be clear. Effective land reform is possible without threatening food security, without undermining commercial farming, without destroying social cohesion, and without changing our precious Bill of Rights. It is obvious that from the onset, the integrity of the Joint Constitutional Review Committee was compromised by collusion between the wily EFF and the beleaguered ANC. It was apparent that the tail was wagging the dog as the Red Berets ran roughshod over the two cowering ANC chairpersons and all but took over the process of the CRC. One of the chairpersons ultimately resigned from the committee amid the Pusasa scandal. When their duplicity was pointed out, the EFF reacted with the usual impertinence that is so characteristic of these rude, rebel-rousing Red Berets, who surely have had no parental guidance whatsoever in their formative years. Andizuthetha nokuthetha ke ngezinye ingxeqe ezikhonkothe ecaleni kwe-EFF ne-ANC. They are just cheerleaders masquerading as independent political
Order, honorable
parties.
members. Let me hear.
The DA would like to state upfront that the recommendation of the Constitutional Review Committee to amend the Constitution to allow for expropriation without compensation was a foregone conclusion. That is why ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa cynically made a late-night announcement on TV in July that the ruling party had decided to go ahead with changing the Constitution to allow for expropriation without compensation. This was before the committee had even started its work in the Western Cape, thus reducing the whole process to a farce. Even now, the NCOP is set to debate this report tomorrow, despite the fact that this House has not adopted it yet. Isn't it obvious to South Africans what is actually happening here? It was certainly obvious to the ANC in 2017 when debating and voting against expropriation without compensation in this very House. ANC Chief Whip Jackson Mthembu said, and I quote, Section 25 of the Constitution is more of an enabler for land reform than a barrier. We failed to take advantage of its...
Honorable Mbabama, please take your seat. Honorable Mguni, what point are you rising on?
Honorable House Chair, please call the member to order. She may not refer to any member of the House by name. She has to say either Mr. or Honorable. That's what is in the rule book. Thank you very much.
Who did he refer to?
She has said the Jackson Mthembu.
She said, okay, I heard her. He started by saying the chief whip of the ANC. Thank you. Continue, Honorable Mbabama.
Uti Mthembu, blaming the Constitution for the embarrassingly...
Exactly, House Chair.
Honorable
Order.
member.
Order.
Honorable member.
House Chair.
Yes.
This is now a vernacular version of the same thing.
Thank you.
She is doing exactly the same. Please call her to order.
Now I heard you saying Mthembu.
My apologies, House Chair.
Yes.
Uti Honorable Mthembu, blaming the Constitution for the embarrassingly slow pace of land reform is both disingenuous and scapegoating. We failed, finish and klar. Ucho lo tata. Hundreds of thousands of South Africans agreed with this sentiment in their written and oral submissions. People like Ntate Rakhase from Limpopo, who has been working on his farm and paying the government rent for more than 40 years, but still does not own it. Do you think he truly believes that the ruling party will give him a title deed after amending the Constitution? Papezul in the Eastern Cape, nabanye abanjengani, will changing the constitution.
Order, honorable members, you are really shouting now. Please. Continue, honorable member. Continue, honorable Mbabama. Your time has been stopped. Continue.
Will changing the constitution make the government give you the title deeds to your land, the one that you have been fighting for all these years? Will amending the constitution revive all the failed restitution and redistribution farms lying fallow and miraculously turn them into well-run, profitable entities? Will amending the constitution get rid of the corruption we saw in Malamala, Mpumalanga, and the Estina dairy farm near Frieda in the Free State? Kubantu bethu abahlala ematyotyombeni, nicinga uba lo urhulumente uza kuninika izindlu nee-title deeds zazo emva kokuba etshintshe le constitution? Hayi, andiqondi. Changing the constitution to allow for expropriation without compensation is just a political ploy to get votes out of desperate, vulnerable people. The Democratic Alliance knows there is a better way to implement successful land reform. The Democratic Alliance is going to bring change that builds one South Africa for all its people. Nithanda ningathandi. We reject the report of the Constitutional Review Committee for the farce that it is.
Thank you. Order. Thank you very much. Honorable Malema.
Thank you very much.